Out in the sizzling sandbox of the American Southwest, a $12 billion gamble is rolling the dice. Not on poker chips or app startups, but on something even crazier. A train, yes, a real one, with tracks and everything. While you're still stuck choosing between traffic jams or TSA pat-downs, Brightline is out here building what the government's been studying since disco was cool. They're connecting Vegas to SoCal with a bullet train that could finally make American rail sexy again. So the big question is, can the land of drive-thrus and flight delays finally win the global train race it started and then somehow forgot about? A country that was once the rail king. It's easy to forget, but America used to be the undisputed leader in railway innovation. 2 centuries ago, the US rail system was the envy of the world. Steel rails stitched together an expansive continent, linking cities, powering industries, and enabling millions to travel with remarkable speed and reliability. Our locomotives didn't just move goods, they built the nation. But that golden age screeched to a halt around the mid-20th century. The skies opened up with the jet age, and suddenly you could cross the country in hours, not days. The allure of flying was undeniable. Then came America's deep romance with the automobile. Big cars, sprawling suburbs, and the open road symbolized freedom like nothing else could. When President Eisenhower launched the interstate highway system in the 1950s, it created 47,000 miles of high-speed roadways. Car usage skyrocketed, and air travel exploded 15-fold. The result? Rail faded into the background. Engineers pivoted to building planes and highways. Trains, once America's pride, became an afterthought. The missed bullet train boom. America did flirt with high-speed rail once. In 1965, just after Japan introduced its game-changing Shinkansen bullet train, President Lyndon B. Johnson pledged to bring high-speed rail stateside. Tests along the Northeast Corridor reached promising speeds, and by 1969, regular service at 120 miles per hour began. But then, momentum fizzled. Meanwhile, countries like France, Spain, and China surged ahead. France's TGV, Spain's EV, China's sprawling network of high-speed trains, the largest in the world, sprang up in just 2 decades. Their trains hit 200+ miles per hour with precision, efficiency, and flair. And the US? We're stuck with Amtrak's Acela, a train that can briefly hit 150 miles per hour, but spends most of its time crawling behind freight lines and curving through outdated tracks. We don't even meet the international criteria for high-speed rail. Trains must reach at least 155 miles per hour on dedicated tracks. Without it, America suffers from more gridlock, more emissions, and fewer travel options, especially for those who can't or won't fly or drive. A private sector power play. As government initiatives dragged on with red tape and delays, a private player stepped in. Brightline. Founded by Fortress Investment Group, Brightline dared to do what public agencies couldn't: build a modern passenger rail line from scratch. Their first major achievement? A sleek 235-mile route connecting Miami to Orlando. It may not qualify as true high-speed rail by global standards, with top speeds of 125 miles per hour, but it's faster than driving and a whole lot more relaxing than battling the I-95. What sets Brightline apart isn't just speed, it's execution. They got it done. In a country where rail projects are infamous for decade-long delays, Brightline streamlined the process. How? By completely rethinking how we build trains in America, rethinking the railroad playbook. Brightline ditched the government funding model and turned to Wall Street. Private investment meant quicker decision-making, fewer bureaucratic bottlenecks, and stronger accountability. It also brought a more business-minded approach. No political vanity projects, just infrastructure that works. Engineering innovation played a huge role. The $6 billion Florida route involved over 50 bridges and even employed box jacking, sliding massive concrete slabs under existing roads to avoid disruptions. Their secret weapon? Land strategy. Instead of triggering land wars and lawsuits over property rights, Brightline used tracks already owned by their sister company, Florida East Coast Railway, and built along state-designated land near highways. This eliminated most legal entanglements and kept the project humming. The Florida experiment proved something critics long doubted. Americans do want trains, if they're clean, modern, and convenient. The Vegas dream gets real. Emboldened by their Florida success, Brightline is going west. Literally, their next project, Brightline West, is poised to be a transportation game changer. The goal? Connect Las Vegas to Southern California via a true high-speed line reaching 186 miles per hour. The plan is ambitious but grounded in logic. Around 50 million people travel between LA and Vegas every year, mostly by car. It's too short to fly efficiently and too long to drive without annoyance. A 2-hour train ride through the desert. Perfect. Set to debut by mid-2028, just in time for the LA Olympics, this 218-mile rail line will run from the Las Vegas Strip through the Mojave Desert, with stops in Apple Valley and Hesperia, ending in Rancho Cucamonga. From there, riders will catch a Metrolink train into Los Angeles proper. It's not just fast, it's green. The train will be fully electric, emit zero emissions, and draw power from solar energy. Riders can expect speedy Wi-Fi, plush seating, first-class upgrades, and because it's Vegas, a party car. A smarter route, a smarter strategy. One of Brightline West's most genius decisions was to build almost entirely along Interstate 15. An astonishing 96% of the route will either run in the highway median or adjacent to it. That's revolutionary. Land acquisition is usually the most painful, expensive hurdle in American rail projects. Property owners resist, lawsuits fly, and years are lost. But highways are already designated public corridors. By aligning with I-15, Brightline avoided eminent domain nightmares, sped up environmental reviews, and navigated regulatory hoops with remarkable ease. Yes, there are still technical challenges, like constructing over 160 bridges and navigating tricky terrain like the Cajun Pass. But those are engineering puzzles, not political sinkholes. Private money, public support. What makes Brightline West especially promising is its funding model. Unlike California's troubled high-speed rail project, which relies almost entirely on government money, Brightline is blending private and public investment. Of the $12 billion budget, a majority comes from private investors. Only about $3.75 billion is public money, primarily federal grants structured with clear limits and expectations. This changes everything. Private investors want results. They demand efficiency, accountability, and return on investment. That means fewer delays, no bloated budgets, and minimal political interference. The government still plays a vital role, smoothing out interstate cooperation and easing through permits, but it's not calling all the shots. And that's a good thing. In 2023, Brightline West received a $25 million grant to accelerate design and planning, just enough to support progress without turning the project into another public works quagmire. Learning from California's costly cautionary tale. To understand just how radical Brightline's success could be, you need to look at what went wrong with California's bullet train. Pitched in 2008 as a $33 billion plan to connect Los Angeles and San Francisco by 2020, it's now a $140+ billion black hole. The only segment under construction is between Bakersfield and Merced, hardly a bustling corridor. Billions have been spent, but not a single passenger has boarded. What happened? Everything. First, the route. Rather than use existing corridors, planners opted for an entirely new alignment to shave off a few minutes. That triggered massive land acquisition battles, inflated costs, and endless delays. Then politics intervened. As a fully government-funded project, it became vulnerable to shifting political winds, local demands, and bureaucratic infighting. There was no central authority pushing for efficiency, just a patchwork of competing interests. Worst of all, there was no real accountability. When costs ballooned or timelines slipped, no one paid the price, except taxpayers. A blueprint for the future of US rail. Brightline's approach is leaner, faster, and far more practical. Their investors care about ridership, reliability, and profit. That focus results in a streamlined system designed to be used, not admired from afar. There are no vanity stations, no endless feasibility studies, and no excuses. It's rail for the real world. If Brightline West succeeds, it won't just connect two cities, it could redefine how America builds infrastructure. It offers a clear contrast to the bloated, politicized failures of the past. And it provides a new blueprint, one that prioritizes smart land use, public-private partnerships, and above all, execution. If you're ready to see America finally win the high-speed rail race, smash that like button. Got thoughts on Brightline or just tired of TSA lines? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories where innovation meets reality, because the future isn't waiting at the station.